Welcome back to Who That 242. I'm your host, TIMMAY, here, episode 42. I think, 2424, you still out Independence Week. We're on Solid Podcast Network. Shout out to our sponsor, Alive, the bigger, better network. Bring your own device, switch your device, leave the blue people alone, come get the real network. Today, I'm here with Lavonne-Alexis. And you might not know her, but I'm pretty sure if you own a social media account and you are a Bahamian, you've been seeing these Protect Bahamian Women bags.
Yes.
And I was like, I mean, I don't know how long, but I will go all the way back to the beginning. Why fashion? Why clothes? Why things? Like why? Because you're very you're talk to woman. But why was that your outlet? What made you know I can do clothes? I can sell clothes.
To me, if you want, if you want to do a whole
We got
psychology
that's
session,
who that is.
you want to
Who
do a
you
whole
is?
therapy session.
Yeah, man. I have time. I have time.
Actually, I think anything that was beautiful or what would be considered artistic or unique always appealed to me. And so I think my first thing where I felt comfortable, when you're a kid and you're like, I want to be this when I grow up.
Mhm.
And so art class was that for me. So I
Mhm.
was just like, I
That
want to
was
be an artist.
your a way you could just be safe and just
Right.
okay.
Yeah. My safe space. I felt really good about when I would draw something or and then as you get older, it develops into something else. And I think dressing up in my mom's clothes and everything like that made me feel beautiful and comfortable in my very own skin because I was a chubby kid and I got made fun of for having like thick thighs, although everybody loves that now.
Of
But
course, so thick
but
thighs save lives.
right, but when I was in primary school, it was like, oh, she has like big legs. This girl has like big legs, and then you have like these adult men hitting on you
Right, right.
and everything. So it was just like it was this like confusing time, and I think for me, and then when I think when I dressed up and when I played with clothes, it took me into my own world and I kind of escaped from that. And I felt personally beautiful. And so I just wanted to kind of, relay that feeling onto others. Um, when I got older and it just developed into a career. I went to school and everything like that, learned the business end of things, not just
Mhm.
getting pretty and dressing up,
Right,
but
right.
I went and I studied visual merchandising and design and all of
I've
this
never
stuff.
heard someone say that before. Visual merchandising, that's like a thing you could actually study.
Yeah, that's something you could actually study. Fashion, yeah, fashion merchandising, but they call it fashion merchandising for the most part. But you do have these visual merchandising
Mm-hmm.
classes where you develop like that sense of how you merchandise and how you can make things look and appear and all of that. Like one of our things we would do into the college I went to is we actually had windows
Hmm.
in our college,
Oh
and we
wow.
would like design every student would
So
have
if
this
I
visual
come there to
merchandise.
visit one day, I could see your work in the window. Like
Yeah, you
okay.
could have seen my work in the window. We dressed mannequins, we would do installations. It was like really huge. It was a really big thing in my school that I went to, which was Miami International University of Art and Design. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
branch off from the Art Institute, but the accredited version. And
Right, right.
yeah, and so yeah, that's how it all started. It grew and grew, but from I was like 7 years old, I knew this is what I wanted to do.
Have you watched Cruella when it came out last year?
What's that?
Cruella.
I didn't. I'm not a big movie
Lavonne.
buff person.
Okay, go on Disney Plus this weekend or the holiday weekend next
Okay.
week. Please. I know as a
Okay.
Disney nerd, so I might appreciate it more than you, but especially what you say this now, you would
Uh-huh.
love you would love that movie.
Oh, I'm sure I
You love the
probably would
movie. Like it really got into how she's a designer and like she did some crazy things with clothes and animals and it was ridiculous. Like
mm-hmm.
I could see you. Like
Okay,
so
yeah.
when I got ask you in 2 weeks if you watch it or not. Like you need to watch
If
that
I watch
movie.
it, no, I'm gonna watch it for sure now that you said it. Because anything that has to do with fashion and like a download of that, I like to watch it on TV. So anything on
Mhm.
Netflix, I've already watched
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
All of those things, all those documentaries and stuff, I've already watched it. So yeah, I would
Mhm.
anything that connects fashion and then telling a story, I like it. So
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna take a look at that.
It's talking about the birth of Shop to CC.
Yes. Now the closet and coat.
Right, right.
But yes, the birth of Shop the CC. The birth of Shop the CC actually happened on my best friend's couch. And I was going through a tough time, bad breakup. You know how those things are.
Yeah.
And I was starting another semester in college, and I was on my friend's couch because I had decided to move back home for a period of time to be with my ex, and I was just like, can't do it anymore. So I packed up all my bags. I left my apartment. I don't know if you know Midtown Miami. That's in Miami in the Wynwood area and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I lived in Midtown on the 22nd floor, like overlooking Miami, the city lights and all of that. And I left all of that.
Wow.
And I came back home to pursue love. And because my ex was like, I want you to come back home. I want you to come back home. I'm home now, so I want, us to be together. And I said, I'm gonna try that. And of course that didn't work out. So I packed up all my stuff again and shipped myself back to Miami, where I was on my best friend's couch, Robin Swaby. I don't know if y'all are familiar with her.
I know Swaby.
Yes. So I moved back on her couch, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something to take my mind off of just the sadness I'm feeling and keep myself busy. Because I was always doing a little something, I was a little hustler. So I was always doing a little something. But, and I was making jewelry at that time, just handmade jewelry and selling that. And that was called Cute Confections. And what I said was, I'm just going to build on Cute Confections, and I'm going to now add clothes, and I'm just anything that's going to just kind of keep me busy. And that's where Shop the CC was born. It was the Covetier's Closet, and Shop the CC for short. It was the Covetier's Closet, the CC. And what I did was, I already was like an avid thrifter. I would thrift all the time. I would sell things on eBay and do all of this. And so what I did was, I just built my separate website that was, separate from eBay. And I built Shop the CC that way. And it just continued to kind of grow and grow, because it was something that I already liked doing, which was dressing up people, I guess, and finding inventory and stuff to sell to them, finding unique pieces to sell to people. And I think during that time, it wasn't something that anybody was really doing besides your like I will say this. I came up, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Nasty Gal, Sophia Amoruso. That's the girl who started the girl boss trend. So she had a book that became a series, and she coined this term, girl boss. That's where we heard girl boss from. It was actually her who created this, but she actually had a boutique, and it was called Nasty Gal, and she sold vintage clothing, and I would purchase from Nasty Gal, and I sort of followed her blueprint. We were on eBay the same time, and then she went ahead and she opened up her own site. So I kind of followed her group. She was like my secret mentor in my head. There was literally only one.
People that say your mentors is only people you know. You don't have to just know them. So
you don't have to know them. No.
Yeah, so you could say this person mentored me because you was able to read their stuff of all. So you don't have to say secret. She was your mentor. She was your mentor.
My mentor, right. So she was like, so any videos I could find of her, and it wasn't much now, although I'm sure you can find a ton of videos and interviews on her now,
right? Because
she grew and she got to the level of, I think her company was estimated to make $1 billion at one point, even because of how well she was doing, along with the Girl Boss brand and all of that. And then she, I don't know what ended up happening with that, but yeah, I kind of used that blueprint and continued to just grow and grow and grow. And then we changed the name, of course, because Cavetier was too difficult for people to say.
Too fancy, too
fancy.
And that's why I want to bring Korea, because every time I hear, well, I really didn't know it was classical recently to the bags drop. We speak to after the sponsor, so I was just cover it. It sounds such like a Cruella, like a Lavonne thing. That's why it so sound like Paris, and you in these expensive clothing stores and Gucci and things.
Yes. Because coveter is like it is a French word, I believe, but it just means to covet, or
Yeah.
And
Basically, the
whenever
closet
I
for people
went,
who want things
for
this
one
way.
thing, right?
Yeah.
And when I would go to thrifting, I would go thrifting and I would see something, I would freak out to me. I would be like, oh my god, oh my god, I have to this. My friends would laugh at me all the time, but when you thrift and stuff, you find unique pieces that you won't be able to find anywhere else. So once you
Mm-mm.
find it, you get so excited, you want to covet that,
Mm-mm.
you want it now, you want
Mm-mm.
this thing now. And so I think I that led me to naming the brand that. However, there was a bit of an issue with like a Canadian company having
Oh
that name
wow.
as well.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
So
exact name? Wow.
well, no, it wasn't the exact name. It was just the coveteur. And
Mm.
they weren't even a store. They were like a blog. It was a blog that
Mm-hmm.
featured people's closets.
Ah.
But their brand, they built their brand up so much that, it was like, okay, no, you can't use this name. Cease and desist. And so what I did was I changed the name. I changed it. I changed how you spell it.
Mm.
And so
Such a
my
Bahamian.
spelling.
Such a Bahamian.
And mind you, it was a Bahamian person that gave me that advice. They were just like, just change how it
Just change
spells,
your
like
name.
see it, find it in another language, and just change the way that it was spelled. So I found it, I think, in like I can't remember which language it was that I used, but I switched it from French and I used something else. But yeah, but now to make things, because it was the covetier's closet, and so just to make things a lot easier, we just dropped the coveteer, and then we just named it the Closet and Co. You know,
And you went from Jump C, you always keeping the C's. You always had the C's going through it.
right? I
Yeah.
always wanted to keep the C's, and there's actually a reason behind that as well.
Mm.
But thank you for noticing that. Nobody ever notices that. So
Yeah.
that's
I
very.
kind of good at this, I do this for a living and
Yeah,
stuff,
you're good. You are very good. I kept the C's. I keep the C's for a reason.
Mhm.
Yes, a Chanel. Chanel is my big inspiration too. That's another mentor of mine,
Right, right.
that I have. In fact, I stole this book from. Sorry, but I stole this book from college, and
Oh
it's a
wow.
book on all of this covers Chanel's life,
Right,
all of
wow.
this, from her very beginning to her end. And you would not think that in that time when she lived, which was like the 1800s, you
Hmm.
would never think that a woman would be that fierce and that strong and just a downright hustler. Like she meant she was gonna be, something else,
Hmm.
something else in her life. And so that kind of gave me that inspiration, because everybody was, fashion. That's what you could do. You can come
Yeah.
back to Nassau and do fashion.
And do
And I was
clothes?
just and do sell clothes really, and especially during that time, that was like '04,
Yeah.
'05. So nobody was really into, you had your seamstresses and your tailors, and that was it.
Hmm.
There was no Theodore then. Like Theo was a designer, but he wasn't necessarily designing to the level that he is now. You didn't have your
Right,
Felicia, you
right.
didn't have any of these people. So it wasn't anything that would be like, the norm to come back home and do. So everybody was trying to talk me out of it, but I
You
followed
push
this
through.
inspiration. Yeah, and so that's where I
You
keep
should
the
watch
seeds.
House of Gucci too. That's
I
Gucci.
know. That's
Yeah.
on the list. That's
Yeah.
on the list
It,
for me.
even people was like it was ever, but Lady Gaga like acted her ass off in that. Like that was a good
Hey,
movie.
yeah, yeah. I'm sure. I actually like her in American Horror Story.
I haven't
I
watched it.
liked her in the.
She's in that. It was another movie she said I didn't watch. I was supposed to watch it. She got
She's
nominated.
been in like a series for, yeah. She's been in one episode. Not one episode. She's been in one when it's
I
not
thought
the episode, when
it's anthology series, like it's a season. Yeah.
yeah, it's a season. She was on one season, right? She was
Mm.
on a season. She's
Before
really
we
good in
get
that.
into
So
the
I imagine her.
Let's say before we get into the real reason why we here, I'm shout out our sponsor live. So BYOD, bring your own device. If you like me, who's buying a phone from off Apple.com or away, or if you buy a device from other folks, just come over here, come to the good side. If you go postpaid like me, you earn $4.50 in bill credits, or if you go prepaid, you get $50 back in cash rewards. So like I say, I have friends who do Android. I'm too much with the Android life, but you get an iPhone, but it doesn't matter. Android or iPhone, bring your device. So now we're here with the Closet and Co. Like I say, the last 2 or 3 weeks, even if you're busy, mind your business, you can't go 2 or 3 posts without seeing these bags. Talk to me about these bags. You just
Yeah.
shop a commercial this week with Ashley. People don't know Ashley's
Yeah.
reason why there is a who that we was in college, and Ashley was like, "Wait, you need to make a show because I have a camera I need to shoot stuff with." And now we have who that because of Ashley. So I see Ashley making her modeling debut. Ashley always be doing the hair review and the food review and
Yes,
the
yes.
makeup. But
Sounds like Ashley.
How you get Ashley to make her debut from modeling?
Ashley's my girl. I've worked with Ashley on a number of sets, and that's been my girl. So she was actually, this is our second drop. So she was actually the first person who came in store to get our drop, to get our first collection that we had. Ashley came here. Come.
That's
Come.
just
Give me
like
my
her.
bag. Come.
That's just like her.
Come. Give
Yeah.
me my bag. That's Ashley, right? And so I was just like, Ashley. And then what she did, which was what I didn't expect, was she did an entire review
Of course,
on it
of course,
after the
of
fact.
course.
Yeah, and I didn't expect it. I didn't ask Ashley to do it. I didn't expect it from her, but she did it, and it just got so much shares, and she just was bigging up the bag so much that I was like, Ashley, thank you, love you, girl. You got to be in the next one. You got to be in the next one, because any way that she can find to support me, she does. Even when I first opened up my store 3 years ago, Ashley was one of the first people here again. So I was just like, girl, like let's do something together. Let us, let's do something together. And it wasn't necessarily even me wanting her to be in that campaign, but I just thought of like how she's a Bahamian woman. She has a loud voice as well, and and this can go far. The message can go far, because Ashley has a really great following of people, and especially women. And not only that, like she's I think Ashley too is a believer in just wanting to protect us.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, come on, Ashley, come and do this.
So talk to me about how important getting the message out there with your art, because it's the difference. You could have just make these bags with your logo, with the collect colors and color logo. People that buy it like on the nice C logo. Even though they call it fake Chanel, but you could have done that. You could have just made your logo, put in the bag, and someone sell off. Some people making this statement like how important that is to you.
Well, I will say this: what really caused me to go ahead and do this and put this message out there is because we already had seen that there were so much messages that were going around internationally about protecting women, and then on top of that protecting Black women, because they seem to be the last of the fray that is protected. We always have some sort of issue where a Black woman is just always the last on the list,
always,
or the last on the totem pole, right? And so in living obviously in the Bahamas and experiencing what I experienced, especially with having my business and having to be an aggressor somewhat when somebody isn't doing something the correct way or whatever, and then you get cussed out for it, like because you're a woman, you get cussed out for it, and a man will tell you about the deepest parts of what, and then you'll have other men around and watch this person do something like that and just not say anything, not budge. You'll ask for police to actually help or assist. They won't budge, or they won't take it seriously. So it's almost like we go through the same type of experiences, although we all are of the same race, because like more so internationally it's based on race. But here exactly. We're all the same. Right, we're all the same race, but we still, get treated this way. And then I saw this video with Carissa, and I know that was the young lady who who was said to have committed suicide in front of her child.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I saw the videos of her crying for help, you know, going through her domestic violence situation with her baby's father, and being like, you know, not having any kind of assistance. And even the little assistance that she was getting still wasn't really protecting her, you know. And when I saw those videos, my heart sank. And I just was like, I need to do something. I know I'm not a politician. I'm not a big activist. You know, but how can I use my voice in what I'm skilled in and what I'm good at, you know? And so because I am in this fashion world, let me try to, you know, get this message out there in a different way than all the other avenues that others have used. And so that is the reason I say the first collection was definitely just for Carissa and this lady. You know, we still don't know if she truly committed suicide or if she was murdered, you know. But I said I was getting tired of fighting with guys on 242 in the know. I was getting tired of having to speak up, you know, or have voice. I said, you know, I'm going to put my money. I'm going to put my money.
But you
I'm
might
going to put my and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this product, and then I'm going to assist these organizations who are built around helping these women. I don't have an organization. I don't have a huge voice or a platform, in a sense of, you know, in that
for
area,
activism,
for activism, right? Exactly. But I said maybe the way that I do it, maybe this can work, and it can show a lot of other people.
Well, you know, back in the day, art was also one of the things people used to, like, during war. I think art was like a big thing. So this is the other side that people don't see. Like you could make a statement through art, or whether the creation of it, or the purchasing of it, or the support of it.
Right, exactly. And so this was kind of like, speaking up for ourselves. I said, wear it everywhere you go, wear it and let them see, let them know that this is, you know, what we need. If it, you know, and I said, you just put it in their faces, instead of, because it seems like they don't listen, you know, nobody's really listening to the outcry of a lot of women, a lot of these organizations. And there are a ton of women who go through domestic violence. People who you wouldn't even think would go through it are going through these situations, and a lot of women end up dying. You know, we see these videos, these viral videos, they go viral, where the guy's like knocking down his wife for like cheating or whatever, and men will say, oh well, she deserved it.
The first thing is like, you wonder what she do. Like, why is that the first thing coming to your mind? Like, why is that the first? And it just shows you that that's how they think too. Sadly,
that's right. That's the mentality here. That's the mentality, and you know. And so I said, you know, any way that I can give back, I will. I'll do that, and I'll do it my way. You know, and so that's what this is. This is more so for just helping these organizations that get little to no government.
So what other organizations for people who don't know and want to support?
Well, we give a percentage of the purchase to Women's United, which is called WU, and that's led by Podesta Moore. And what it is it's like an infusion of all of these different organizations. Instead of just giving to one, Makes lot sense. Of these women joined forces so that their voices can be louder. Because, you know, if you have your, what's her name? Candy Bain. Candy Bain is by herself. That's not a loud enough voice, you know, and people make fun of her and things like that. We just
had a Monday to my Rotary meeting, and like, when I love the work she's doing, but like you say, you need everyone to support her.
Right. And so that's why it's called Women United, because it's a number of organizations all together. You have Erin, and Erin is, I believe, Erin has her own organization as well, with disability, right, and all of that. So all of these organizations are part of WU. And so I said, you know, I want to help them in some way, somehow get whatever it is that they're trying to achieve, because it seems as if they're falling on deaf ears. And all you need is the
money,
is the coin.
to grease
All
the
you need is the
wheels.
money.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly, to grease the wheels, and for or for something to become a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's all you need sometimes. And I think with this piece, the more people start to see it, the more it'll become a conversation, and the more people purchase it, the more money we're able to go ahead and have Candy Bane, instead of asking the government for crown land, maybe she can now purchase crown land based
Mm-hmm.
on the donations and everything that people are getting, because like I said, it's little to no government assistance that they deal with, and I'm not sure we are going to be taken seriously at any point. I do know that Miss Davis, our first lady, is pioneering on having that be something that is recognized as under the government. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to hope that it is implemented, or any kind of rights for us is implemented, and we're taken seriously, and our voices are taken seriously. But at this point, I'm gonna just try to do what I can.
So do you foresee, this being a once a year thing? You know, like you have one special, or you even thought that far yet? Like, do you see yourself doing
No,
these type of
I
streaming
I
pieces
thought
yearly,
I
or
thought yeah, I thought pretty far along about it, and we've actually this is going to be the first time I talked about it, but I did
exclusive,
tweet
exclusive,
something.
exclusive?
Yes, it's exclusive. So what we have done, we were planning on bringing out new colors every season, and just asking our
Nice.
customers, which colors it is that
Or you
you would
can't you
like, and
can't
so we're
like
gonna
tell fair.
continue. Right, right. So we're going to continue to have our customers be involved. We're going to continue to make these Protect Bahamian women handbags until women get tired of it. But we've also now branched out to do Protect Caribbean Women.
Oh
We
wow.
tweeted that yesterday, a sample of that
What's
bag,
what's what's
because
the
we
page?
had
So
some.
I can retweet that to you. What's the
My it's the Closet and Co on Twitter, so it's the
okay.
same thing all around. Closet and Co Instagram, Closet and Co on
Okay.
Twitter, and we tweeted that yesterday, our first sample of that, because when the first drop happened, we had our international customers, Caribbean women, saying,
This is nice.
where's Turks? Where's
Yeah.
Turks? Where's Jamaica? And I've actually had a young lady in the first commercial that we had that was Jamaican, but she lives in the Bahamas, and she supports Bahamian women, and she wanted to be a part of it. And so even her, she's just like, when are you going to have the Caribbean women come out? The Protect Caribbean women, because I want to branch out beyond just beyond the Bahamas, because all of us need protection. All of us, feel slighted in our own countries, and so when those ladies reached out and said that they wanted one for their country, I said, you know what? Instead of just I want to be able to personalize it, but instead of that, let's just make it bigger, and let's just make it Caribbean.
Mm-mm.
And so now we have the Protect Caribbean Women handbags that will be coming out on our next drop.
Awesome. And how soon? You can tell us how soon they coming out? Are you in like before summer over, before fall?
No, it won't be before summer over.
Mm.
It won't be before summer over, because we literally just brought these new bags last week. So it
Okay.
won't be before summer is over, but it'll probably be more so like the early fall we'll do the Caribbean ones. But right now, and also too, I guess it depends on how quickly these sell out.
Right, right.
Because last first drop they sold out in like 4 days.
Oh wow.
So now let's see how it goes. But yeah, I think it'll probably be by fall, early fall for sure.
Okay, no worries. So thank you so much for coming on. And there's people who don't know. I mean, you don't know, you need to know where you're located so they come and support you.
Okay, so we are located on Mackey Street, and we are, I think, a good visual is that we are by the Bar 20 corner, the Bar 20 light, and opposite from the Wendy's. We're in the building opposite from the Wendy's and the Showman E Bistro. So we're the building. The building has been here for years. It's a tall coral building. It has bars on the windows. You can't really miss it. But like I said, we're opposite Showman E Bistro and Wendy's by the Bar 20 light on Mackey Street.
Thank you so much, guys. And please follow the Closet and Co
Thank
everywhere. And see you
you.
next week on Who That 242 Shot, the Solid Podcast Network, and the live and